The silver price takes a major dive today, 4% from high to low. It got as high as $23.30, as low as $22.40. 4%. What's behind all that? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the inflation numbers, what that could mean for the precious metals prices as we head into 2024. Get deeper and deeper into 2024. We're going to talk about stagflation because that is reemerging, and we're starting to hear not just us basement dwellers, and by the way, thank you basement dwellers for being here today on this live stream, not just you and me talking about stagflation, but more and more people. And if you live in Kentucky, you got some good news. If you're in Kentucky and you are into silver and gold, we have some good news for you. We're going to talk about what Jim Willey is saying about the world geopolitical situation. Fascinating stuff. The World Bank, and of course, news out of Iran. But let's get started with silver. I was thinking this morning, they take every... Wait a minute, I can't see. CoinShop Chris just threw a virtual ding-dong at me, and I couldn't read it. Chris, could you resend that? He's trying to communicate something from our satellite bronze basement office. Maybe I can see it on this smartwatch. Tap the like button, guys. Yeah, please. I forgot. Please type the like button. This is really now a snap live stream, because the other one got screwed up. So if we could help get this word out to more and more people, the thumb, it looks like that. Okay, that gets the word out to more and more people. Steve S is calling me. Steve, I'll call you back later on. Hey, now, what's going on with silver and gold? Silver in particular gets clobbered by 4% today. Think about this. They use any excuse. Silver's an industrial metal, so if we get into a recession, the silver price is going to go down. Silver's a monetary metal, so if we're having higher inflation numbers, that's the excuse today to go down. It makes me want to beg the question to you. I think silver maybe isn't an industrial metal, maybe it's not a monetary metal, maybe silver, at the end of the day, is just a manipulated metal. Take a look at this. This is very telling. I'm going to show you a chart of what happened this morning quickly, but this is worth looking at. This is from Kitco, and if you look, the two bars on the right-hand side, that's when the COMEX opened this morning. Look at that dive that silver took, and look at that volume. Again, that's electronic. That's the spot price of silver. That's what we're dealing with, guys. I mean, unbelievable volume. Silver went from over $23.20 in the matter of it just 4% down in hardly any time at all. So is it a monetary metal? I don't know, right? It is when they want it to be, when they want to use that as an excuse to beat it down. Is it an industrial metal? Well, it is when they want to use that as an excuse to beat it down. Is it a manipulated metal? I would say that's more the case. The COMEX and the LBMA are manipulating the price of silver. Is it a mental health metal? Right? I mean, maybe the pharmaceutical companies are manipulating the price of silver to make us all go crazy, so we think we need to get on some psychiatric medications. It feels that way at times. I'm like you. Sometimes it gets very frustrating, very draining to get beat down, 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 down. Now, are we beat down? Let's take a little inventory, like any smart business does. Are we beat down to the point where we need to be super depressed, super concerned? No, right? We're still holding above $22 an ounce, right? Now, getting below 22, I can't even fathom. Just a couple weeks ago, guys, we talked about this. Our silver was at 24, and I said silver's either going to get to 20 or 28. One of those two will there's very few things in life we can say for sure. But we could say for sure when the price of silver is at 24 that one of two numbers is going to get hit first, 20 or 28. I really felt in my bones that 28 was the next to come. But let's be real. This has been a beat down of a year, start of a year. for 2024 in the metals markets, the price of silver has been clobbered a little bit. Gold, let's take a look at the spot price of gold, because gold's the big brother. Let's see where gold is right now. I know I hope, holding above 2,000. It's at 2,014, down $10 per ounce. So not a clop, 0.5%. Okay, we aren't. I'm not going to be happy if gold gets below $2,000 per ounce. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, you aren't going to want to be around me. I will be looking at the world through jaded glasses, my perspective. I'll be all right. You'll be all right. We've been through this before. We know the underlying fundamentals. CPI inflation is what they tell us. CPI inflation was up, okay? Headline, consumer price inflation, hotter than expected in December. Up 0.3 month on month versus 0.2% expectation and 0.1% in the prior month, pushing the year over year headline CPI number up to 3.4%. From 3.1% the prior. So inflation came in hotter than expected. And I've kind of been noticing that, like, I'm on the bubble. Like, are we in deflation, a little deflation window right now? But then food in particular, and that's what they're saying, food costs are going up. Listen to these. Headline costs are at record highs. Core costs are at record highs. Food costs are at record highs. Fuel costs are also at record highs. And then I throw in, this is all with cheap oil. We've had the price of oil go down quite a bit over the last month. What happens when oil goes up? And what happens, maybe we don't get that as much of a deflation, the D word that I preached about. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But so what if we don't get deflation? What if we do just now? I've said this. I have said this. The table is set, right? It's like when you're having Thanksgiving dinner at your house or Christmas dinner or whatever big dinner you're having, you're celebrating, whatever. Ron's coming to town from Ron's basement. You're having big dinner. Anyway, the table's all set. We've said this. The table is set for higher inflation. I really felt like we were going to get some deflation first. I don't know, but inflation. Let's get this clear. Is this high inflation numbers bad for the precious metals? Because then everybody thinks, that means the Fed is going to have to be less dovish, right? We made this tilt towards dovishness. Why did Jerome Powell tilt to being so dovish in mid-December, right? After the FOMC meeting, he was like, he basically telegraphed to the market that we're going to have to ease up, right? Which is good for the price of the precious metals. That's good for us basement dwellers. But now we get high inflation numbers coming through, right? And now everybody says, that means the Fed's going to have to not be as dovish. We still say the fundamental tide has turned. The fundamental tide has turned. But these high inflation supposed numbers, right, make everybody think on Wall Street, all the market, right, the people that just are so don't have their head out of the sand believe that means the Fed's going to be more hawkish with monetary policy. That's why the price of silver and gold got clobbered. But have you thought about this? What does it mean if we have inflation picking up? I got a great story for you. Okay, inflation is picking up. I don't need to tell you the story about when Coin Shop Chris went to the Walmart to buy ding dongs and ding dongs went up in price, or I was at the Walmart grocery store by my house, and I usually go to Aldi, but I went to the Walmart grocery store with the girls after their soccer game. Like, pick out anything you want for $5, and I bought some avocados and some bow tie pasta and deodorant. Anyway, I was like looking at the prices at the Walmart grocery store, and I'm like, this is expensive. Okay, everything seemed like the avocados were cheap, 68 cents each, but things are expensive. So here's my question. You want to know about silver and gold. That's why you're here. Okay, let's tie this all together into a big, beautiful, babbling brook of silver and gold. All right, imagine us, the babbling brook of silver and gold. And this is how it happens. If we get these higher prices, and we've talked about the table being set, the Christmas table, the Thanksgiving table, everything's in place for another big spike in inflation. Okay, things that are beyond the control of the Federal Reserve, and they don't really want to control inflation anyway. That's a big joke. That's a big lie. They can't control inflation because if they did, the whole system would implode because we have too much debt. So nonetheless, the table set, we get this big inflation, but at the same time, we get an economy that's slowing down? Oh, really? Okay, what are some signs that the economy's slowing down? Well, just talk to somebody who's in the automobile industry, the real estate industry. Talk to somebody who has a voice. Talk to somebody in any industry. Drive down a busy road tonight in your town, wherever you live. Here in St. Louis, we got all these roads, and they all have every fast food joint known to man. People aren't even buying Wendy's and McDonald's and Taco Bell. Coin Shop Chris was complaining to me the other night. He went to Taco Bell and got like 3 tacos and I don't know, what else he got, and a soda. It was $13. I said, you should have bought the $5 meal deal. He said, I don't like what's in the $5 meal deal. And I said, well, then don't complain about the prices. The point is, right, people aren't spending money because a lot of people don't have money. So I'm driving home from this meeting for the work, and I forgot to look at the gold statue. I drove by again, but I called my cousin, my good friend, SpongeBob Ivy. Right, and SpongeBob Ivy, he's the guy that did the 3-wheeler videos with me. He's a professional cameraman, works for the St. Louis Cardinals, the St. Louis Blues, the MLS, whatever it's called, St. Louis City, the Rams when they were here. He's a professional cameraman, but he also owns a big business where he goes to these big regional dance competitions and takes pictures, professional pictures of all the little girls dancing, and then sells them at inflated prices to the grandmothers and mothers of the dancers, right? And I asked him, because he travels all around the country, right? I said, did you notice last year? He said, oh yeah. He said, it's slowing down. It's like people don't have as much money. And you know, when grandma is cutting back on buying pictures of her favorite little dancer up on stage, you know things are getting tough. So if we have, back to the babbling brook of silver and gold, I apologize. If we have the situation where we have higher prices, okay, and we have a slowing economy, grandma's not buying the dance pictures, Coin Shop Chris is not going to Taco Bell, right? People are tightening up, right? Companies aren't buying heavy equipment from Caterpillar. People aren't buying heavy equipment from John Deere, right? People aren't buying houses. If we have that going on, a slowing economy, but at the same time rising prices, that is stagflation, a stagnant economy with inflation. And that does not, thank you for that super chat, Brian. Hello, Ron from the Basement Dweller. Last year now almost. Thank you. Wow. And thank you for your joining us in the basement. Thank you for joining us in the basement. We got stagflation. And that is, I don't know, how do I explain this? That puts the Fed in a horrific position. The last time they were in it was in the 70s because they don't know what to do. Jerome will be up there. They'll act like they know what to do, but they're not going to know what to do. And what that creates is massive uncertainty, number one. But number two, this environment where the Fed has to decide, are we going to fight inflation or are we going to try to stimulate the economy? And either way, it creates a very conducive environment for the precious metals prices. So hold on. All right, guys, let's do this. We got a big giveaway. You can register for the Valentine's Day giveaway. There's a link in this video description and every video description. All right, Pinck, online bullion dealer, sponsor of Ron's Basement. They donated an awesome 10-ounce Geiger silver bar. Right? You can check it out when you go to you have to go to this little video, the giveaway video, and put a comment that says, thanks, Pinck. It's very simple. Then you're automatically registered. But one of our viewers, Mr. Jim M., also donated some things for the giveaway. And we're going to open a box right now. This box, never been opened. So this may take, I may struggle. This may be hard. But we're going to open this thing up and see what we got. Uh-oh. Told you we might struggle. We are struggling. And we got a lot more to talk about. Oh, wow. Ron, I hope this helps, gets the sub numbers up. Keep up the great work. Your friend, Jim. Man, we've got some awesome. Come on, Summer. Look what he sent. Okay. Thank you, Jim, for the smile. Can never complain about a smile. Now we're going to open this up and see what Jim, this is for the giveaway. Hey, if you send me a box, I'll open it live too, right? Nicely packed. Ooh, wow. All right. Oh, still going. It's like the paper for the printing presses at the Fed. Still going. All right. Oh boy, look at this. I'm gonna wear that like a scarf. Wow. What do you think's in here, guys? Huh? Then that's a pretty nice little bag. It's for the Valentine's giveaway. Ooh, wow. Like he said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. Nadir Metal Refiner 1 ounce silver bars. I'm just going to see the one. Here's the front. And here's the back. This is part of the Valentine's Day giveaway. Like I said, there's a link. There's 5 of them. Okay. All right. In the video, I just showed 1 and said there's going to be 5. So I'm going to put these on the tray. Thank you, Jim M. Put the little bag there. We've got some other, we got 2 4-ounce, and then we also, here's that Geiger. Those Nadir bars are beautiful, and those have, those 5 bars I just showed you have, not consequential, consecutive identification numbers, serial numbers. This is the 10-ounce bar from Pinck. Also really pretty. Man, I'm telling you what, I am in love with these 10-ounce Geiger bars too. You can check those out on Pinck's website. They're a sponsor of the channel, Pimbex, Pinbex.com, online bullion dealer. You'll get the best prices. You'll get the best service. They've got great selection, but you need to figure that out for yourself. You need to experience that for yourself. Do your own due diligence, right? Next time you're out there thinking about buying some bullion online, just do yourself a favor and go check out Pinbex, because maybe, just possibly, what you might find out is they have the exact same thing that you're looking at another bullion dealer, but they got it at a much better price. Like, for instance, those that 10-ounce Geiger bar that I just looked at. I looked before I came on. They're selling them, I believe it was like $280. If you go look for the best price on eBay, or the best price at any of the big bullion dealers, what you're going to see is they're selling it for like $315, $25, $35 more. Hey, why not get the exact same bar and a bonus American Silver Eagle, or go out to eat at Applebee's with the money you saved? I don't know. Check out Pinbex next time you're shopping for bullion. I think you'll discover what I discovered a long time ago. Pinbex is best. All right, stagflation. Kentucky is going for legal tender legislation. Do you live in Kentucky, right? No, probably not. Some of you do. But Kentucky is forwarding legislation, legal tender-oriented legislation, the first step, which is to eliminate the sales tax on gold and silver bullion products. I'm going to check to make sure I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's go. Let's see what that says real quickly. Let's see what it says. Kentucky bill. Yep, headline. This is from the 10th Amendment Center. Kentucky bill would take step toward treating gold and silver as money. Bill introduced in the Kentucky House would exempt the sale of precious metal bullion from the state sales tax. So another state. Oh, it's just getting rid of sales tax. It's just Kentucky. It's one domino after another falling on a state by state basis, whether they're passing full legal tender legislation, whether it's getting rid of the sales tax. It's all a big deal, and it's all a big deal because it all turns into a big national movement, which is going on right now, state by state, right, to allow citizens to reclaim what was granted them by the founding fathers and the United States Constitution, which is to use silver and gold as real money. We get our right to bear arms. We get our freedom of speech. They also gave us, right, the right to use silver and gold as real money. It's in the United States Constitution. Kentucky is taking a step in the right direction. Thank you to our friends at Kentucky. Here's another. This is. I found this fascinating. This came from the Pickaxe Substack. I just want to show you a chart of something about the silver market. This shows visually the size of the silver mining industry. This is a chart. It shows the silver mining industry, the gold mining industry, the S&P 500, energy sector, and Apple Computer. Take a look at this. Okay, this over here that you can't see by my ugly little finger there, that is the entire silver mining industry. $17 billion. The big green thing on the over here, that big green line, that's Apple Computer, $2.8 trillion. Okay, so it begs the question. I know I have to bring this up every other day. If silver's that minuscule, that's like not even 1%. I don't know what it is, like 0.02%, whatever, 0.002%. Silver's so minuscule. Why the heck do they put it on the live ticker on CNBC? You ever think about that? If silver's like this minuscule little market, why is it on the live ticker on CNBC? Why is it one of the prominent quotes that's permanently shown at the top of the Yahoo Finance page, right next to the S&P 500, right, which Apple is just a part of? Is that one of the things that makes you go, right? I don't know, okay? I don't know. Right? Part of that silver industry is channel sponsor Fortuna Silver. I want to thank them as well for making this and all the broadcasts possible. Fortuna is a global silver and gold producer. They have mines in Mexico, Peru, Argentina, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, a growing company with a great foundation and great growth plans for the future as well. It's a company that I personally have invested in. I am not giving financial advice, but for years, long before they became a channel sponsor. If you want to learn more about Fortuna, go to fortunasilver.com, and there's a lot of interviews by a lot of different professionals who've interviewed the CEO and presentations. You can check those out on YouTube as well. All right. I'm getting hit here. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on in the world. This guy, Jim Willey, is fascinating. He's on Arcadia Economics on a regular basis. That's our friend Chris Marcus. A lot of you know about Arcadia. They're one of the first channels that covered the silver market. But I was listening to Jim Willey last night, and he said a couple things that just really, really got me thinking, like, wow, this is true. This is what's going on. This is what we're living through right now. Number one, the world central banks are selling U.S. Treasuries, and they're buying gold. Think about it, right? You've heard that a zillion times, but I want you to think about it one more time. They're selling treasuries and buying gold, okay? Are they going to revalue gold next? Will that be the next step? Could we see a worldwide revaluation of the gold market, okay? Roosevelt, as a reminder, did that in the United States in 1933. There's a history of that going on, right? They confiscated everybody's gold, and then Roosevelt, right after he got all the gold, he was like, well, you know, all that gold we bought from you for, I forget what it was, $17 an ounce or whatever. The dollar had a lot more value back then. We're going to revalue it to 25. And those numbers are not right, but it was a significant revaluation. Is that what we could be looking at right now? Because the central banks, what they're telling us, they could be doing a lot more when it comes to the physical gold market, and that will bring silver right along with it, guys. Absolutely. Okay. The Chinese, I didn't know this, have left the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, which traditionally was known as really the dominant force in the metals pricing market. The Chinese have now officially completely left the LBMA. They have their own market, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, right? The SFE, the Shanghai Futures Exchange, all right? And the Shanghai Gold Exchange is often has much higher metals price for both silver and gold. What does that tell us? Think about this. The Chinese left the LBMA. The Chinese left the LBMA. The Chinese are now trading the metals on their own and gaining more and more volume and traction. And guess what? Real interesting. It's more of a physical-based market over there. Okay, so it's an interesting development. Let's ring the bell 10 times. We got 100 thumbs up. This is a bell warning, all right, to all 250 of you who've graciously joined us. All right. What does that tell us? All right. What happens when the East officially takes over the precious metals market? Because that's the trend. That's the trend. And what the Mr. Willie, Dr. Willie, what Dr. Willie also said, he's like, time now is on the side of the BRICS countries, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and then the 5 others that join them, the ICU. Right? Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates. Time is on their side because let's face it, the United States and the West, right, with these crazy debt levels, crazy deficits, we're doing a pretty good job of destroying ourselves. So the BRICS countries are like, we're in no big hurry. We'll let the, we're not going to buy any more treasuries. We're going to buy gold. We'll let it, the trend. We don't have to do anything. The West is doing a pretty good job of screwing themselves up. I don't like it. You don't like it. You most likely are like me, live in one of the Western countries. We didn't do it. We're not responsible, but it is what is going on right now, okay? And the BRICS, the Eastern countries, are happy to just kind of wait and watch and continue to acquire more and more. Will China eventually completely take over the gold market, the silver market, the oil market, right? They're trading oil now in Chinese yuan, right? And then that allows countries to basically sell oil and immediately convert that Chinese yuan into, yeah, you guessed it, gold and or silver. Is that why the gold price is often higher? Is that why the silver price is often much higher in the East? Things that we need to consider. Pieces of the puzzle that we need to put together, okay? The World Bank. Okay, here's the World Bank. The economy is so great, so strong. The World Bank is issuing a warning that the global economy is on track for its worst half-decade of growth in 30 years. Yes, 30 years, okay? Growth is slowing down, and debt at the same time. Growth is slowing down, right? Stagnation in the economy, and debt is spiraling out of control. That brings us back to what? The S word. And hey, while I have your attention for just 1 second, 3 quick things. First, please give this a thumbs up. It's right down there. That helps get the word out to more and more people. Subscribing to Ron's Basement is free. It helps the channel, and we have goals, and we want you to be a part of this community. And if you subscribe and hit the bell, little bell note, turn on notifications, you'll get notified every time we put out a new video. We want you to come back and join us here in the basement. And finally, I'm going to ask you to do the most important thing. Subscribing's great. Thumbs up is great. But let's all say thank you to the moderators who are here today by typing 8, because 8 is great for those who moderate. 8 is, yeah, I think I got that right. And we're basement dwellers, we're ladies and fellers. Are things getting better in the Middle East? Let's just touch on that, because we had a I don't know. It is very confusing what's going on over there. It's a powder keg. It is proof that the world is changing at a faster pace than really anything we've seen. Iranian oil tanker here. Okay. Iran hijacks an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman. Did you read this? Iranian naval forces, acting under a court order, seized Marshall Islands flag tanker St. Nicholas. Bloomberg reports, citing Iran's semi-official news agency. The report said that the St. Nicholas, okay, this boat that the Iranians took, hijacked, is quote unquote a U.S. oil tanker. Now, there's more to this story because apparently, let me read you this. The tanker, which the Iranians boarded, okay, the Iranians boarded what they're reporting is a U.S. oil tanker. So the tanker, which the Iranians boarded today in the Gulf of Oman, is the St. Nicholas, carrying Iraqi oil. Formerly known as the Suez Rajan, she was seized by the U.S. government for having transported 1 million barrels of Iranian oil in connection to a U.S. company. So apparently this was a tanker that we seized, and now apparently the Iranians are seizing it back. But what does that tell us regarding the instability, the potential for escalation in the Middle East? I mean, they're painting this Iran situation as our arch enemy. They're painting this picture that the Iranians have hijacked a boat that belonged to the United States, although they may think that it belonged to them. And that's how these things can escalate and get completely out of control. All right, guys. We'll see how the week plays out. It's only Wednesday. All right. Who knows where we'll be by Friday? The downward momentum that we've been experiencing in the metals is no fun. All right. It's not like we've been completely kneecapped, but it's been like that water torture where it's been day after day after day after day. If you own precious metal mining stocks like I do, and you look at your portfolio every day like I do, right? I'll admit, right? It's been down, 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 down. It won't last forever. And I can't think that we're going to get through this entire year and that we're not going to see what will be some significant price and real value increases in the metals. There's too many factors at play right now that are supportive. I still believe that the tide has shifted, right? That over, up until about October of November of last year, the current was working against us as precious metal. And the metals held their own despite those, headwinds, despite having to fight against the current. I feel like the current shifted. I don't feel like we've got, the full force behind us yet, but the confluence, right? There's seems like 13 and a half factors that could come together, and we don't need all of them. We need half, maybe a third, that would be more supportive for it. I mean, anybody who says they got this whole thing completely figured out is lying to you, right? I can't guarantee you that I know that by October or November or December that we are absolutely, or by May, I'll stand by. I said I thought we could get to $2,600, $2,500 gold by May, right? I could be dead wrong. I said that when I predicted that. But if you look at all the pieces that are out there, the evidence, right, the forces that affect the value, the price of the metals, it's just going to take a couple things falling into place, right? And I know when we've been beat down like we have, when it's raining, it feels like it's never going to end, but it will end. It will get better, right? Some of you are happy now. Right? You like when the price goes down because you can buy more. You get a better price. I've done a lot of my buying already. I've got the minivans packed. I'm ready to go on the trip. You know what I'm saying? But the check engine light keeps coming on in the garage. Eventually, the train will leave the station, right? And we already have our seat on the train. We're in the Ron's basement car. There's a lot of other people out there, right? There's the Arcadia Economics car. There's what's that guy? Bix Weir. There's his car. There's all types. Silver Dragons, all these people, right? We're on that. We all have our car. We have our seats in the car. We're ready to go, right? A lot of people are going to be chasing that train down the track once the train leaves the station. But they're still loading the locomotive with coal or wood, whatever we're using. But soon, right, it'll get going. We'll have better days ahead. I believe that. I don't have a crystal ball. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I said. From Susie and myself, thank you for being here in the basement. You are the most important part, and we hope that we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.